Well, hello there, and welcome to this week's weekly weight loss vlog. It is currently Monday, the 19th of February 2024. So, we're going to be talking about last week, the 12th of Feb to the 18th of February. Yes, this is the time or dates that we're going to be covering today, and a bit of a different one for me today, because if you've tuned into the last few of these that I have been doing, I've been sort of going on about how it's been Groundhog Day, nice and boring, everything running as it should be running. That was too good to be true, or not too good to be true, but obviously that little run of life being very simple and very straightforward was obviously, going to come to an end at some point. I was hoping it was going to be a few weeks down the line, and I'd have another few weeks of nothing much going on. But yeah, this weekend, a little spanner was chucked in the works in terms of, a nice, simple, straightforward life. And basically, you might, if you follow me on any sort of social media, or you are on plan with me, or in my community, you might have heard that unfortunately, our little 6-month-old Cockapoo dog that we've got, Blossom, she broke her leg on Saturday. How did she break her leg? Well, we basically have our bed is a wooden frame bed from Oak Furnitureland, and she got her leg caught between the end of the bed frame and the mattress. So basically her leg went down there, and she fell forward off the bed, trapping her leg, and unfortunately, she broke it, bless her. We didn't know at the time. I was basically sat here in my office. I'd just done a TikTok live. We'd had breakfast. I'd come back in here doing some admin-y stuff. And I heard a rather loud yelp, as it were, from the bedroom, which will probably give me a little bit of PTSD, because it wasn't the nicest thing in the world to hear. And it obviously was over in seconds, but it felt like it went on for ages. Rushed through to the bedroom, and my wife Rachel sort of had the dog and explained what happened. And bless her, she was sort of on the bed. We picked her up, obviously, popped her down on the bed straight away. She wasn't putting any weight on her back. It was a back right leg. She was sort of hopping around on 3 legs, looking very, very sorry for herself. So we rung the vets, took her into the vets on Saturday afternoon, and the vets were basically, we can give you some pain relief, take her home, see if she walks it off. The vet basically, like literally, the vet was sort of pulling on her back legs, and she didn't flinch, bless her. She didn't even, yelp or try and pull her leg away. So the vet was like, I don't know, I can't feel any damage. I can't feel for a break. She's obviously in discomfort, but we can't, I can't be sure what's going on. So you can take her home. We'll give you some pain relief. Bring her back tomorrow, see if it's got any better. Or if you just want to rule out anything, we can take her for an x-ray now, or keep her in. We'll give her an x-ray and we'll let you know. So we were like, no, go on, get her x-rayed. We're insured-ish. Anyway, we got a phone call about 4 o'clock-ish on Saturday saying she'd broke her leg, bless her. And she'd need to go to a specialist vet. So we're going to refer you to a specialist vet, because it's not something we can sort of deal with here. So yesterday, Sunday, we drove up to this vet's practice in the Lake District, which is about 45 minutes or so from where we live, so South Lakes. And we met up with one of the vets there. He'd seen the x-rays from our normal vets that were taken on Saturday. And yeah, he basically gave us the news that because of where Blossom had broke her leg, she would need an operation. It'd need pinning. Anyway, she had that this morning. She's all good. We go to pick her up tomorrow. But yeah, that spanner in the works. Why I've sort of mentioned that and why it's a spanner in the works, because, someone asked me on my TikTok live this morning, how have you handled that? How is it, because it's things like that that do trigger emotional eating. You have a plan in place, which I've had since, every week since the new year, since we sort of came back after Christmas and got our head back into weight loss. Weeks planned out, eating's planned out, and that is something, things like that, little spanner in the works that just sends you off kilter, as it were. And not only does it send your routine off kilter, it affects your mindset. And if we are big emotional eaters, it was horrible to see her in pain. Even more so because she's such a loving dog. I think that's what, me and my wife, we've discussed it, and it's like, not that you wish any harm on any dog whatsoever, because I don't. I love dogs more than humans. But she just doesn't have a single bad bone in her body. Well, she's got a bad bone in her leg now, but do you know what I mean? She just doesn't deserve to go through anything like that, which makes you feel guilty because obviously she's in our care and stuff like that. But anyway, so it was a bit of a stressful time on Saturday, and the most stress from it all was, like I say, the cost of it. We were, I insured Blossom when we first got her. And really, our other dog, Betty's nearly 7. She's been insured from day dot again, but never had any insurance claims with her whatsoever. So just a bit naive to it all, if I'm being totally honest with you. And I insured Blossom for £2,000 per claim. I don't know if it's per year or per claim. I'm not sure. But anyway, it was £2,000. And to me, £2,000 sounds like a lot of money. Anyway, when we stood in the vets on Saturday afternoon, we can x-ray her, it's 500 quid for one x-ray. Right, okay. And then, obviously, she broke her leg, so this specialist vets rung us up. And the girl that phoned us, I think she was just a receptionist, she was going through things, right. When you bring her up here, the consultation just to walk through the door's £400. Blossom will need a CT scan, that's £1,100. And I'm like, okay, I assume she's going to need surgery. How much is surgery? It'll be between £3,500 and £4,500. And I'm like, that's £6,000. Plus with the £500 it's cost in our vets just to have the x-rays. And that was the biggest stress, if I'm being honest with you. And it wasn't the fact that I would absolutely bankrupt myself to make sure she's all right. It was also a case of it was going to be on a Sunday, and this girl, not in a horrible or mean way, was basically like, and we'll expect payment of that before we do anything. So I'm like, right, so I've got my dog's in pain and you're expecting £6+ off me. This is in my head. Anyway, to cut a long story short, that wasn't the case. But on Saturday night, honestly, inside I'm in bits because, I don't want her to suffer any more than she needs to suffer. I wanted to have the operation and it all get sorted straight away. And then I'm like, where on earth do I get £6,500 from if that's what they need from me? So Saturday was a tough night. And we brought her home on Saturday night as well. So the vet was like, we can transfer her. They were basically like, we shut down now. We're going home. So you can now take her to another 24-hour vets where I'm like, no. Or she said, take her home. We'll give you some pain relief and you can just monitor at home. So again, Saturday night, we've took her home. We're protecting her. We're making sure that, she doesn't jump on this leg or put any adverse pressure on this leg. So it was just Saturday was horrible. When we went to the specialist vets yesterday, they were absolutely amazing. And they were literally like, we can't check your insurance, but we'll sort of trust you that it's, £2,000 will cover that. The maximum cost from us is going to be £4,000, which I know is a lot of money, but in my head, I've got 6. So if you're happy, can you pay half of that? So we managed to find half to pay that. And then, I was more than confident. We've used Argos Pet Insurance with a previous dog years ago that my mum had. And they were absolutely fantastic. So I knew that £2,000 was kind of sorted. They did phone up this morning to confirm that the insurance company is more than happy to cover that. But, it's just been a really stressful weekend. And like I say, since Christmas, I've had no stress. And stress is something that does trigger emotional eating. or it used to. And I don't want to come across here like that I don't have any emotional eating issues. I do still, but nothing compared to what I used to have years and years ago. And I am very lucky that I'm in a mental health situation at the moment where I can kind of keep tabs on my emotional eating. It's something I've learned to do throughout my weight loss journey. So, like I say, when that person mentioned this morning, how did it affect my eating? How did I cope with my eating? It didn't really. I think the biggest thing for us was, like I say, that knock of routine. So obviously yesterday we had to get up in the morning, we had to drive an hour, up 45 minutes to an hour it is, up to this place, drop her off and then come back. And you just kind of, we were Saturday night emotionally drained. And again, yesterday, although we've had to outlay a lot of money, we managed to find it. So she's had her operation, we know she's all good. But still yesterday, absolutely emotionally drained. And again, this is something that in the past would have made me turn to food to make me feel better as a comfort. You know, I always say this, sometimes you need a hug from food. And yeah, and this weekend was definitely a time when it, you know, I have had to fight it. I'll be honest with you, I have had to fight it. But I'm quite lucky that the way I look at my calories, and I'll put my calories up for this week. I did this last week. I don't know why I've not done it before. So I'll put my week's view up of NutriCheck now that you'll be able to see on the screen. Let me get it up on my computer so I can see it as well. And I think quite lucky that this happened over the weekend because, as you can see from my NutriCheck there, you know, I banked just over 2,000 calories. My NutriCheck hasn't updated actually. That's not. Hang on, let me refresh. No, that is right. That is right. Sorry, that is right. I was like, am I on last week's? Hang on. I'm not. I wasn't. Yeah. In this video, you'll have had the right NutriCheck because thing. I was actually looking at week commencing the 5th of Feb. Right, I'm on the right one now. So as you can see there, Monday to Thursday, I banked a good amount of calories, nearly 2,000 calories. I had a slightly higher calorie day on Friday, but I still managed to bank 91 calories. So maybe quite lucky because I've not eaten healthy this weekend at all. It's 2 weekends in a row. I say not at all. I'll go through my food diary in a minute. I can't quite remember actually. But yesterday definitely wasn't that healthy. I went to McDonald's twice yesterday, so definitely wasn't healthy. But I suppose quite lucky that this scenario or situation happened on a Saturday, Sunday. Why? Because those are 2 days where I always have more calories. I banked a couple of thousand calories during the week, and I just have more calories anyway. If this situation had happened on a Wednesday or a Thursday, and you know, Wednesday I'm in and out of a vet's, and then Thursday I'm driving over to Lake and fitting that in between work as well, maybe the outcome would have been different. I don't know. You know, would it have just been a case of I've got to have a higher calorie Wednesday, Thursday? This is the way you know, if you follow my philosophies on weight loss, this is the way you can manipulate your calories. This is why it's so handy looking at your calories as a week's total rather than a set daily amount. So I always look at my daily amount as an average, which is 2,750 calories on average per day. And then, you know, which is 19,250 calories over a week. So if I'd had a higher calorie Wednesday, Thursday because of the stress of the dog, would I then try to have adjusted for the rest of the week and had a much lower calorie Saturday, Sunday? Yeah, I would have done. Now, I always like more calories on a Saturday and a Sunday. And I'll be honest with you, if I do have more calories during the week, I normally then would still have more. I do struggle to eat what I would call like my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday calories. So banking calories or eating lower calories. But I did do this the first week of January. In the first week of January, Monday was New Year's Day and I ate 4,100 calories. So although I did eat a few more calories over the weekend, I still banked a few during the week. I had a much lower calorie weekend than I would normally. So, I'm in the zone at the moment. I'm not going to deny that. So, but again, I can't really talk about ifs, buts, and maybes because, it did happen on a Saturday and a Sunday. And as you can see there, I've got 83 calories if you look at the bottom number. So my ideal weekly calorie allowance, my ideal weekly calorie deficit for weight loss is 19,250 calories. And I've had 19,333. So I'm 83 calories over in total. I'm not bothered about that whatsoever. It is 83 calories. I'm still classing that as hitting my ideal deficit. The last 5, maybe 6 weeks, I've actually been under my ideal deficit. So, for example, last week, if you saw, I did pin my week view on NutriCheck. I was 174 calories under for the week, 283 the week before. The week before that, I was 372 under my ideal deficit, so I had 18,875. The week before that, I was 629 under, so I had 18,621. And then the first week of January, I was 5 over. So a week is a week. So it's Monday morning to Sunday night, and I never carry calories over from one week to the next. Likewise, if I have a week where I consume more calories than I want to, I never adjust the following. I never try and over restrict myself the following week. A week is a week. Tick the weeks off. Aim to have more good weeks than bad weeks, as it were. Not that, what you might define as a bad week. I pretty much don't have any bad weeks because that's the way my mentality is. If I end up having more calories than my ideal deficit, so let's say my ideal deficit is 19,250 calories a week. If I had last week 20,000 calories, I've still got the mindset that I'm still in at least a 3,000 calorie deficit. I then look back and analyze my week. Why have I ended up 750 calories over? I could quite easily have said, well, it's because I've had a bit of trauma this weekend. I've had to go to more, I've had to use some convenience foods because we've been here, there, and everywhere. Yes, I have emotionally eaten a little bit. That is kind of, if every time you've got a little bit of stress or a little bit of trouble in your life, you're constantly using food as a coping mechanism, as something to make you feel better, that is going to have, major repercussions on your weight. And what I mean by that is, on Monday, I've had a bad day at work. I emotionally eat at night time. On Tuesday, I've had a good day at work, but my kids are doing my head in, so I emotionally eat at night time. On Wednesday, I've had a good day at work. My kids have been good, but I've had an argument with my partner, so I emotionally eat. On Thursday, these are just things that happen in everyday life. Every now and then you're going to have a bad day at work. Every now and then your kids are going to do your head in. Every now and then you're going to have an argument with your partner. Every now and then you're going to have a little bit of bad news where you worry about something. We can't just constantly keep using food as a distraction, as a comforter, because, hopefully, fingers crossed, you don't keep getting bad news all the time. But I think sometimes we create it in our mind. I think sometimes we make out things are way worse than they actually are because we want to use food, we want to overeat, and maybe that's just part of the addiction. The last thing in my mind this weekend was to turn to eat loads of food, because if I purposefully overconsume calories this weekend because I'm going through a bit of stress in life, that doesn't make me feel any better. It makes me feel worse. I've then got the stress of worrying about my 6-month-old puppy, as well as the massive guilt of overeating food on purpose. I don't need that in my life, right? Let me sort this out. And again, I just think that's where I've got to on my journey. I've been doing this over 10 years now. And if you're consistent and you can consistently work on, as I say a lot on lives and on podcasts and maybe talk about on these weekly weight loss vlogs, a successful weight loss journey isn't just about the approach, right? It isn't just about the lifestyle changes in. I'm going to eat a bit less. I'm going to go and get my steps in. I'm going to eat protein, drink lots of water. You know, I'm going to be a lot more responsible with my calories. I'm going to track in NutriCheck, so I keep tabs on everything that's going on. Yeah, that is part of obviously a successful weight loss journey. But the other big part of a successful weight loss journey is tackling the issues of why you have a weight issue in the first place. Why have you got to this point? And a lot of people say, oh, it's because my diet's not great or I'm a bit lazy. Yeah, obviously that is part of it. But for a lot of people, it's down to a mental health. You know, that's what I would always classify obesity as, a mental health issue. And that's what emotional eating is. It's a mental health, it's not minty. It's a mental health issue. And like I say, I'm at a position in life now where even if my mental health isn't great, and it has been very, very good for the last 10 years, but I still have dips, I still have swings, I can't deny that. I still won't overly turn to food. I won't overly turn to food. Like I say, every now and then, I say it to Rachel sometimes, oh, I just need a hug from food. I think that's natural. You can't eradicate everything. And people that have never had a weight issue, they still have a little bit of emotional eating. I always say this, you use things like Friends, for example. You'd have Rachel and Monica would fall out with her fella, or Rachel would fall out with Ross. And the first reaction is, they come in, they go to the freezer, big tub of ice cream, they both have a spoon each, and they both put the world to rights eating some ice cream. Why is that in Friends? Because it's a very common occurrence. The difference is people that don't have a weight issue will use food as an emotional crux every now and then. They don't use it for every single bit of stress that comes in their life, just like I don't anymore. I have stress every single day in one way or another, like I say, whether it's something to do with the business, or it's something to do with life, or it's worrying about my mum, or it's worrying about some other family members, worrying about a 6-month-old puppy that's broke its leg. And I don't mean life's a constant stress, because like I say, over the last 6-7 weeks, life has been pretty chill. I can't say it hasn't been, but still in the last 6-7 weeks, I've still had stresses. I've still had, end of January, my tax bill to pay. That's always a bit of a stress, likewise. At the time of the tax bill needing paying, we had another couple of bills coming in. Now I've got another massive bill in as well. But anyway, it is what it is. You just got to... Me eating my emotions isn't going to make anything any better. And I think that's where I've kind of come to. And I hope you will come to that point as well. And you will. The longer you go at this journey, the more you work on things, the more you understand how weight loss works, the more you learn to understand your triggers. And when you understand your triggers, then you can then learn on or work on reducing the triggers or making them not be a trigger anymore. Anyway, there we go. Let me go through my food that I've enjoyed eating this week, food that I have eaten this week. Oh, by the way, not checking. I talked about this last week. I only check in every 2 weeks. I've not actually been near scales. If I had gone near scales, I would be quite a bit heavier today. Why? I have had quite an unhealthy weekend. One thing I was rubbish with yesterday was drinking the old quality H2O. So I feel a bit dehydrated today. So it's my check-in on Friday, which I'll go through with you in next week's weekly weight loss vlog. But my mission at the moment is I feel a bit bloated. I feel like I'm carrying a bit of excess water retention. So I need to flush that out before Friday so I get an accurate result on the scales. Another thing that this weekend very nearly triggered, and it hasn't done, was drinking. I'm going to make out like I'm an alcoholic here, and I'm not whatsoever. But I have in the past been dependent on alcohol. I have used alcohol as a coping mechanism. I used it quite a bit probably for about 2-3 years before I started my weight loss journey. So when I hit 30 years of age, that's when my physical mobility I really noticed a decline in that. Really noticed a lot of aches, pains, hips, knees, and right foot. Left foot's always been pretty good actually, but hips, knees, and right foot. Plantar fasciitis in my right foot, arthritis in both knees, arthritis in my left hip. And at the time, I didn't really notice that I had that, but I'm going to say, do you know what? I don't know if this was during the early stages of my weight loss journey. I think it was. I think it was maybe 2015, 2016, so maybe a couple of years in. I got medicated for my arthritis. So I take this sulfasalazine, 2 in the morning, 2 at night time. I might have talked about it before. But obviously, at the time, I didn't know where these aches and pains were coming from. Later on, when I got diagnosed with, I've got rheumatoid and psoriasis. I suffer with psoriasis. When I was, you might be able to see, I've had my hair cut recently. I don't know if you can, patches on my scalp. When I was 37 stone, I had 50% body coverage of psoriasis from getting healthier, eating better, moving more, just looking after myself. It kind of cleared up. I still get a bit of a patch just on this arm. I have a little tiny patch on my tummy on the left side here, and then I still get it around on my scalp. Other than that, it's pretty much gone. But I do get psoriasis in my. It has gone into my joints and my nails as well. So I do have psoriatic and I have rheumatoid arthritis, which is what I'm medicated for. But yeah, from hitting 30s, I really noticed my physical mobility went down, and I did used to self-medicate with alcohol in terms of pain relief. So I was kind of a hermit during the week. I didn't really do much during the week, but I used to go out quite a lot to the pubs Friday, Saturday nights. And for me to be able to physically get up and move about, and yeah, I'd get drunk in my room before going out. You know, I started drinking bottles of wine and stuff. And was I a full-blown alcoholic? No, I'm not going to, it's not like I needed a bottle of vodka a day to function properly, but maybe a functioning alcoholic. Like I say, I never touched a drop from Monday to Thursday. And I used to go out Fridays and Sundays, really. I think kind of the habits I got into. When I was younger, I used to go out a lot more than that. I used to go out sometimes 4 or 5 nights a week. But in my 30s, I got into Friday night, or Friday day, really. I used to go out all day on a Friday, but Friday day or Friday night. And then Sunday afternoons, those are my two days really. But yeah, during the week I never really bothered, but on a Friday, if I was going out all day, it depends what my pain was like. If I wasn't in much pain, because I had good days and bad days, if I wasn't in much pain, I'd just start drinking when I went to the pub. But I never wanted to miss going out. So if my knees were hurting, if my plantar fasciitis was bad, I'd be on the booze in my bedroom while I was getting ready. And sometimes that'd be dinner time on a Friday, depending what time I finished work. So anyway, I've not, I'm not dependent on alcohol anymore, and I've never used it as a major emotional crux. I did drink more last year than I have done throughout my entire weight loss journey. A couple of reasons for that. I think I had a lot more freedom last year because I wasn't personal training anymore. So personal training kept me very much in line. Obviously, I am physically a representation of my business, so you don't want a personal trainer that's stinking of booze or isn't in reasonable shape. I've never been in great shape, I've always had a lot of loose skin, or what people wouldn't class as. I'm definitely not your typical personal trainer, but when I was a personal trainer, it definitely kept me a lot more in line. And then from personal training or stopping personal training, I've gained some weight back, which is kind of what I'm trying to address at the moment. Not loads, couple of stone, 2.5 stone. So the lowest I've ever been is like 20 stone weight loss. I'm sat now at probably about 17.5 stone weight loss from where I started in 2014. Like I said, the lowest I've ever been is minus about 20, maybe up to 21 stone. But I have gained a bit of weight back. And I think I was finding that quite hard to take last year, or last year. I plateaued with my weight last year. I lost bits, gained bits back, lost bits, gained bits back. But I think, yeah, it sort of came to a head end of 2022 where I realised I'd gone from being 17 stone, creeping back up to over 20 stone again. And yeah, I suppose physically, I was a bit disappointed with myself last year, a bit unhappy with myself. So I think, yeah, maybe I used alcohol a little bit last year to kind of mask the situation, as it were, and just ended up being a lot more social. So I think a combination of a few different factors. Anyway, again, I'm addressing that. I'm not quit alcohol, but I've not had a drink since New Year's Eve. And when I say I drink more alcohol, I think I talk to some people about this and like, that's what you're describing as you overdrink out is my normal drinking pattern. But for me personally, it was a lot more than I want to consume. So yeah, so I've not drunk alcohol, and this weekend I nearly cracked. And like I say, I've not quit permanently, but I have had in my head from New Year's Eve, I was going to do January, February, not just dry Jan. I'm going to do Jan and Feb. So when's that? We've got till a week on Friday, and I'm going to have a few beers a week on Saturday. Actually, we've got some friends coming around for tea. We're doing like a bit of a mock come dine with me sort of thing. So I am going to have a couple of nothing major. I'll probably just start. I saw these actually. They're up on my shelf up there the other week in Tesco. So I don't know if anyone's had these. But I love a Corona. Absolutely love a Corona. Can you tell I'm ready for a beer? Because I've got them sat there. But I saw these Corona Ligera. So I think it just says lighter, refreshing beer. I didn't know if they were like a radler. So they've got like a bit of a lemon taste to them because they're yellow. Or I don't know if it's just a lower alcohol Corona because it's 3.2%. I think Corona's about 4.6, 4.7. Anyway, it just says 30%. Oh yeah, it's just 30% less alcohol. So it's not a flavour or anything. It's just a beer. It's just 3.2% instead of, it says 30% less alcohol than Corona Extra, which is 4.5%. 4.5%. So this is 3.2%. I assume it'll be lower in calories as well. I think a bottle of Corona, calorie-wise, is about 120 calories. Less alcohol means less sugar, so it might be slightly lower. If I can find I could do it. In fact, let me put it into NutriCheck here. I've got my NutriCheck in front of me, so I'll let me have a look. Corona Ligera. Here we go. We've got it on NutriCheck. 330 ml it's 96 calories a bottle. It won't be loads less than normal Corona. Let me have a look. Corona Extra. Oh, it's 140. So what did I say? 96. So it's 40 odd calories a bottle less. So anyway, I'm going to have a few of them a week on Saturday. And I love that. Do you know what? It's a bit like I love a Bud Light. I know it's not the best beer in the world. And a lot of beer connoisseurs would hiss at me for saying that. But it's like 70, 80 calories for a bottle. And it's a bit, it's just nice having a beer. I don't drink beer to get drunk. I just like having a beer. It's just kind of that feeling. So anyway, I'm going to have a few of them. A week on Saturday. So I'll have 3 or 4 of them maybe. Nothing major again. Just having a couple of beers. They will be tracked. They will be in my diary. But anyway, yeah, I nearly broke this weekend. Nearly had a couple of beers. But I didn't. I could have done. Honestly, I could have done. I could have got absolutely, if I'm being honest with you, I could have got pretty plastered, to be honest with you. But I didn't. I've resisted and I feel good. I feel good today. A reason why I didn't have any beers on Saturday because I knew I had to drive quite early Sunday morning. And I think it's another one of them, the vets could have called and said, no, you need to come and get her now, whatever. So, again, just being a responsible adult, as it were. Right, let's go through my food last week. Is it Groundhog Day for the foodies? Yeah, it is really. My food is quite repetitive. I did a weight loss coaching live a couple of last week saying variety is the spice of life, and it is. So you've got to mix up what you're eating. You've got to enjoy what you're eating. But yeah, my diary is always there's always quite a bit of routine in there. So last Monday I had my protein porridge. I love my protein porridge. I really, really do. It's something I started making. I've made it in the past loads. And like anything, it sort of becomes flavour of the month and then disappears. But I've kind of found a new way of making it. In the sense that, and I don't know why, I've just kind of thought this myself. I didn't see it from any other influencer or got the idea. But normally when I've made protein porridge in the past, I've put my oats in a jug with milk, and a little tiny pinch of salt and my protein powder, mixed it all up and cooked it. And I think that's just the way I've always seen people make it, kind of, as it were, on social media. Anyway, I don't know why. I tell you why. I'll tell you what I was doing. I made porridge last year, and I just fancied a bowl of porridge. And I made it kind of a little bit of the old fashioned way. I think it's traditional Scottish way, which was because we didn't have any milk. That was another thing. We didn't have any milk. So I just fancied porridge. So I thought I'll just make it in the old fashioned, let's say, kind of Scottish way. It's just oats, water, and a pinch of salt. Made it, and then I tasted it, and I was like, I mean, I'm going to put some honey on it, but still, I don't know if I want to eat a full bowl of it. And that's when I thought, do you know what, I'll just flavour it with a bit of protein. So I come in here, because all my proteins are up there on my shelf, and I grabbed white chocolate protein powder, and I just put a couple of, about 15 grams into it and mixed it in, and it was like protein porridge that I've never had before. So how I make my protein porridge is I make oats, water. This is just for my size portion, 50 grams of oats, 300 mils of water, and a pinch of salt. I cook it, and you want it runnier than you would normally have your porridge, because the protein that you add to it will thicken it up. So you make it runnier, and then once it's cooked and ready to go, then add your protein powder in and mix it in and give it a really good mix. Honestly, I love it. As long as the protein powder you use and you really enjoy it, I love it. And then I always put some mixed fruit on there and a drizzle of honey as well. Oh, such a good breakfast. Anyway, that was last Monday's. Really into my eggs last week. And protein thins from Aldi. 2 protein thins. I will have talked about this last week, but because this is Monday, it sort of rolled on. 2 protein thins, so 4 slices, toasted, bit of butter and eggs. That was last Monday's dinner. Protein shake mid-afternoon. Tea last week was chicken Kiev, jacket potato and salad. Absolutely delicious. Chicken Kiev from Marks and Sparks. Yes, very bougie going to Marks's, but it was really, really good. And then a bag of crisps and a grenade Oreo bar in bed at night time. Tuesday, do you know what, I've literally, it's just gone on to this Tuesday. I was like, Tuesday, there's nothing in there. It's gone on to today. I don't know why. Right, Tuesday, the 13th of Feb. Oh, protein porridge again. Lunchtime. I was back on my Chinese chicken curry, chicken breast, half packet of white rice. The Aldi long grain steam rice in the plastic containers, best white rice you'll ever get. 10 stem broccoli and some goldfish Chinese curry sauce, which they've started selling on TikTok shop, by the way. If you follow me on TikTok, I've not got it in my TikTok shop, but they have got it. A lot of people say, where'd you get it from? You can get it in Tesco, actually. But just in case you don't go out much. Protein shake mid-afternoon. Tuesday night's tea. Eggs on toast again on the protein thins, but I had a bit of bacon with it this time. And then evening snacks with a bag of Walker's Squares and a protein bar. I've had a bag of crisps at night time every day in 2024, and I ain't about to stop now. Wednesday, we've got the new protein pancakes from Aldi. They're not new. They come out last year. They literally come in for about a week. I never managed to get them. They kept selling out, and then they disappeared. They're in the fridge section. So I've been banging on about the banana protein pancakes. They're in the bakery section of Aldi. These new ones are in the fridge, and they're classed as dessert protein pancakes. I think they are. Don't get me wrong, they've not got loads of protein in them. I think the 5 grams of protein per pancake for about 90 calories, which is all right. But again, 2 of them, yogurt, fruit, honey, absolutely banging. So that was last week's breakfast. Wednesday dinner time, sandwich, loads of chicken. This protein cheese, I put it on my Instagram. It's called Jarlsberg, again from M&S, very bougie. It's absolutely amazing. It's 53 calories a slice for 6.1 grams of protein. And it's awesome in a toasty. It's awesome in a sandwich. So I had chicken, cheese, and Branston pickle sandwich. Yes, you can eat sandwiches while losing weight. They're a great option. Protein shake mid-afternoon again. And then tea last week. Oh, this is Valentine's Day. The pancakes last week, I made Valentine's Day pancakes. So I did like a chocolate yogurty thing with Nutella in it. And then it's on my TikTok or my Instagram reels. Go and have a look. It's absolutely delicious. We did a kids tea. I love a kids tea every now and then. What's a kids tea? It is basically something like chicken drumsticks, beans and chips. But M&S again. We went M&S a week last Sunday. Again, a bit bougie. We had southern fried chicken tenders from M&S, some classic fries from M&S, half a tin of beans, so basically chicken chips and beans, a couple of onion rings, and a slice of good old-fashioned bread and butter. That was, who says romance is dead? That was our Valentine's night tea. It was 900 calories. It was absolutely delicious. Again, bag of crisps and a protein bar in bed at night time. Let's go through Thursdays. Back on the old protein porridge, back on the chicken and curry sauce thing for lunch. Protein shake mid-afternoon. Tea last week was, I did steak. It was amazing. I went to my local butcher's, which is A&D Parkinson's in Great Eccleston, if you're ever around my area. It's absolutely one of the best butchers ever. I went and got a piece of fillet steak. This really should have been our Valentine's night tea. It wasn't. It ended up being Thursday night's tea. And I made little square chips in the air fryer. So you make normal chips. Because we were starving and I was a bit late on Thursday, I don't know why, I chopped the chips up into little, probably like centimetre and a half cubes. So basically made chips and then chopped those chips into squares. They cooked 15 minutes or so in the air fryer. What I do is I microwave the potato, whether it's chips or them squares, or I'm doing like potato wedges. I microwave them for 5 minutes. Little splash of oil, teaspoon of oil, salt, move it around so everything's coated in the oil and the salt. Air fryer. Them little 15 minutes in the air fryer. They were fantastic. Really, really good. A little bit of peppercorn sauce on there. Oh, it was such a good tea. And again, a protein bar and a bag of crisps at night time. Evening snacks. Love my evening snacks. Friday. I'm going to get to the fun bit in a minute. Saturday, Sunday, Friday. Protein pancakes again. Do you know what I had on Friday for my dinner? Soup and a butty. It was absolutely sensational. I got the Covent Garden soup. Sometimes soup's amazing. It's so filling because you get so much of it for no calories. Got a Covent Garden vegetable soup. It was on sale in a supermarket we were in. And it's literally, I'm looking at 180 calories for 560 grams of soup, the whole container. And then I got some slices of gammon from the deli in this restaurant, and I just made a butty. Gammon butty and soup. Absolutely amazing. 630 calories it was. Mid-afternoon protein shake. And then Friday night's tea was... What was that? Oh, I did katsu chicken curry. So we got 3 boxes of chicken tenders from M&S. I know I said M&S a lot. We don't shop at M&S a lot. Trust me, I can't afford to. Not now after paying for my dog to have its leg pinned. Anyway, there we go. Beans on toast for the next 6 weeks for the real lost boss. The chicken tenders from M&S are amazing. So we got a buttermilk chicken, a southern fried chicken, and a katsu chicken. It's basically, they're all the same thing. One's in normal breadcrumbs, one was in southern fried seasoned breadcrumbs, and one's in panko breadcrumbs. So I made my own egg fried rice. I'm going to film it and I'll put it on social media. I might do it this week. It tasted just like it does from the Chinese takeaway. Katsu chicken curry tenders on top, and then the goldfish katsu chicken curry sauce over that. And I did some pak choy, which I decided to boil for 3 minutes for some unknown reason. And it was like absolutely the limpest lettuce you've ever... So basically, if you're going to cook pak choy, just blanch it in water. You don't even need to cook it whatsoever. But anyway, that was really, really good. Guess what I had in bed? Yeah, protein bar and a bag of crisps. Right, the weekend. Where the unhealthy eating kicks in, and this is the fun eating. Do you know what? I had my protein pancakes on Saturday morning, pre-Blossom breaking a leg, bless her. And then after we took Blossom to the vets, we got a Greg's on the way home. So I got a roast chicken mayonnaise baguette from Greg's, 467 calories for 25 grams of protein, which isn't bad at all. And me and Rachel shared a sausage roll. So again, nutrition not great. Afternoon snack was just a protein shake tea. We were meant to go around to a friend's house on Saturday night, but we had to cancel because of the dog. I got a Carlos fully loaded meat feast pizza from Aldi. 1,200 calories for the whole pizza. Absolutely delicious. And then at night time, I had chocolate brownie with low calorie ice cream, some crisps and a bit of chocolate. And then Sunday, yesterday's eating... Oh, excuse me, wind pops. Sunday, yesterday's eating. Yeah, I did McDonald's twice. So we took Blossom up to this vet's, which is about 45 minutes to an hour away from where we live. We were coming back. It was 10 to 11. I keep forgetting that McDonald's now do breakfast till 11. So we whipped into Mackey's that we passed on the way back. And I just got a big breakfast wrap. And then Rachel got a sausage and egg McMuffin. And then we shared an egg and cheese McMuffin, which is, if I'm being honest with you, one of the best things on the breakfast menu. Everyone goes for these. It's just a egg and cheese McMuffin. I'm not a vegetarian, obviously, but egg and cheese McMuffin, absolute banger. So we had half of one of them each. So I did 850 calories Mackey's breakfast yesterday. Lunch, I had some skinny sausages in, like some low-fat Coronation chicken sausages from my local butchers. So I just had 4 of them. Didn't have any, just ate them. Gone. See you later. And then last night we went back to McDonald's because I really wanted to try the McSpicy with the Frank's Red Hot Chicken Burger. Red Hot Chicken Burger. I've left all the way through me whittering on about this. You can see the calories I've consumed each day for what I've been eating. Yeah, so I had that with medium fries, with half a double cheeseburger, which me and Rachel shared. I had 3 chicken nuggets because me and Rachel got 6 and shared those. And then I got the Kit Kat Ruby chocolate McFlurry, just a mini one, 163 calories, absolutely delicious. And then last night in bed, just had, guess what, some crisps and some chocolate. There you go. That was it. So yeah, not the healthiest of weekends, but I don't mind. You know, I don't mind being, you know, I am pretty much, you know, I'm healthy. Monday to Friday, I'm healthy. Some people might hear me talk about what I eat Monday to Friday with my protein, but and say it's not healthy. For me, it's healthy, right? For where I want to be. Right? I'm not trying to be a health freak. I'm not trying to be a superstar athlete. I'm not bothered about that. You know, I stick to my calories. My saturated fat's always in line. My sugar intake's always in line. Do I eat sugar? Yeah. Do I overconsume sugar? No. Do I eat saturated fat? Yes. Do I overconsume saturated fat? No. So, and during the week, it's all very low. Yeah, I'm unhealthy at the weekend, but you know, having a day or two, and I wouldn't say I'm stupidly unhealthy. Yesterday wasn't, you know, I'm looking through now. Did I eat anything with any major nutritional value? You know, mid-afternoon snacks. Oh, I'm looking. I didn't go through my mid-afternoon snacks. Mid-afternoon snacks yesterday. I had a protein shake and one piece of pizza that was left over from Saturday night. So that was my mid-afternoon snack. So the protein shake's got a good amount of protein in, you know, relatively low sugar. But you know, I'm not trying to say I'm a health freak. I'm not. And yesterday's eating wasn't the healthiest, but it was in line with my calories. Eating unhealthy certainly one day, even 2 days. Again, my eating on Saturday wasn't, you know, my protein pancakes in the morning, I class as being healthy. Protein shake, mid-afternoon snack, nice and healthy. Pizza, brownie and ice cream at night time, it fits in calories, but there's no major nutritional value there. Lots of protein, to be honest with you. Lots of protein, but not any vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. And again, my dinner, Greg's chicken mayonnaise baguette, a decent amount of protein, but again, not the healthiest. But if I have 2 reasonably unhealthy days combined with 5 healthy days, and like I say, my saturated fats are in line, my calories are in line, I'm not really bothered. Something I've not put up, this is my steps for the week. So this is my average steps for the week. I averaged just, I think, 11,000 something. I can't actually see because it's on my phone, but again, I'll screenshot it and you'll be able to see it on this YouTube video. But what I can remember about last week was my steps Friday, Saturday, Sunday weren't great at all, around about 8,000 each day. But my steps Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday were fantastic, 12, 13,000. And again, just like calories, always look at your steps as an average. It's not about doing stupid amount of steps every day. It's not about having to do 10,000 steps every single day. It's all about what you do over a week. My target is 70,000 steps over a week. And I did what? 77,000. And like I say, you can see from that graph, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, my steps are a lot higher than Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday was just a lower day. We just had quite a lot on. It was a check-in day. So I spent a lot of time sat here in front of my computer. Still did a couple of dog walks. We didn't go to the gym on Friday because our plan was, let's not go to the gym Friday. We'll go Saturday instead to try and put a little bit of weekday routine into the weekend because it really helps us control our eating. But then obviously what happened with Blossom, I didn't gym Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I just did 4 gyms. I say just did. 4 gym sessions a week is fantastic, and it's more than enough for most people. I just like to go to the gym 5 days a week. It's my hobby. It's kind of what I do. As long as I go 3, I'm more than happy. But I do like to go 5. But I didn't get that 5th gym session in last week. So I would have, if I'd gone to the gym on Friday, just because for an hour I'd have been walking. It was weights day Friday, but in between sets, I'm always mooching around and walking around the gym. I would have done 10,000 steps on Friday. I tend to do sometimes slightly lower steps at the weekend. Again, that weekday routine. You know, I'm sat here now. It's 20 to 6 in the evening. And I've already done 9,400 steps. I just do a lot more steps during the week than I do at the weekend. But, you know, I'm a lot healthier during the week. I do a lot more steps during the week. I exercise during the week. Weekend is just where I chill a little bit, but I still stay in control. I did my podcast last week, which is the weekend wrecking your weight loss? Watch it, because for a lot of people, it is where their downfall is. And this weekend, it could have quite easily been mine for this week. Again, we can't look at the success of our journey on an individual week or an individual result on the scales. It's about what we do over time. So if this week hadn't gone great, or last week hadn't gone great, would I have been beating myself up? Would I toss? You know, I've had 7 very good weeks in 2024. Up to my last check-in, I was 13.5 pounds down. Hopefully I'll be a little bit more down this week. On top of that, so I'm having nice consistent weight loss. I'm not overly restricting myself. I'm getting great results. So you can't be perfect, and you don't need to be perfect to be consistent. It's always a saying I've had. Anyway, there we go. That is my weekly weight loss vlog for last week. Again, do these for a bit of my own accountability, and like I say, if you guys are tuning in, I hope you find them interesting, just to see kind of what I'm eating, how I move, looking at my own sort of NutriCheck diary and my own mentality around it. So next week's, yes, it's check-in day this Friday. So next Monday, I will be discussing how my check-in has gone. It's officially check-in 4 of 2024, because we check in every 2 weeks. So yeah, all good. Right, that's me. If you need any help with your weight loss, I normally mention this earlier but if you made it this far, I'll put all the links in my description. And you know, you can get in touch with me. Please give me a follow on any of my socials. That'd be great. If you don't subscribe to this channel, again, that'd be great if you would also subscribe as well. That's about it, really. Until I see you again, which might be on a podcast or might be next week on next week's weekly weight loss vlog. Just make sure, as always, you boss your weight loss.